Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and LEGO has released some of the best mechs they've ever made through their Titan mech lineup for Ninjago, with the latest being Cole's Titan mech, which I think is one of my favorite Ninjago sets of all time, which you can see right here alongside all of the other Titan mechs. Jay's Titan mech from Ninjago Core, the Zane's Titan mech from Ninjago Legacy, and of course the original Lloyd's Titan mech that started it all in 2019 for Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu. Well, here's the thing. As cool as this mech is aesthetically, it's a little dated. The knees don't really move, there's barely any foot articulation, and it's just using some older building techniques that most of these other mechs do not actually have a problem with. And so, LEGO decided to fix that. For 2026 Ninjago Legacy, they are releasing a brand new version of Lloyd's Titan mech, and it's a really interesting model. I got a chance to get hands-on with this model at Fan Media Days over at LEGO HQ in Billund, Denmark, all the way back in September, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm sure I'm gonna have even more thoughts when the set comes out for review, but I gotta say, aesthetically, this looks awesome, and I cannot wait to showcase it for all of you. And so join me as we jump into not only a designer presentation, but also a hands-on interview with the designer where I got a chance to literally play around with the mech itself and ask questions to the incredible LEGO designer who made the mech, and also share a bit of my thoughts with my hands-on impressions afterwards when I'm done at the end of this video. So let's jump on over to the designer presentation right now. Here we go.
Oh my god!
Hello guys,
Oh,
I'm
goodness!
Chris, and I'm here to present you set 71860, Lloyd's Titan Mech Anniversary Edition. We know that Lloyd's Titan Mech had been a very milestone, a big milestone for Ninjago since it started the new era of mech building for us. And it was a good chance for us now with the anniversary to go back to it, update it, follow after the Cole Titan mech and all the Titan mechs we made, and present you with this one. This comes with Lloyd and Grimfax, plus the 15-year anniversary minifigure. One of the things that I wanted to do with this one was to work with the wings, the old backpack, but I tried a few things and I decided to actually go a mile further and update it with some new cool things we haven't done before in Ninjago.
Oh.
That's awesome.
So you get a very, very nice looking knight-like mech for Lloyd. It's a bit heavy.
How are the ankles?
Can we do a spin?
Sure.
Okay, piston ankles, nice.
Yep.
And it has knees.
Yeah!
Amazing, amazing.
When bringing back a character like Grimfax that we've never gotten in minifig form, I'm curious about the helmet. Was that piece still in production, or did you have to basically make it as a new mold to bring back that ice helmet?
I think it was existing still.
It was still around. I think
Yeah.
specifically the reason why it was around is because we used it as a test mold for a lot of the crystallized pieces.
That's right.
When we explored that color combination, the pink and gunmetal, so I think that might have something to do with the fact that it was still around.
That makes
We
sense.
were also very surprised by something around.
Yeah. Was there a consideration to include Akita as well, like an updated version, because that's a really desirable minifigure that
Yes,
came in the original?
But there we were unlucky.
Is Legacy coming back? Is that being treated like a separate theme, like it has been in some cases in the past, or is it the Ninjago kind of theme budget is shared amongst Legacy, Legends, and the regular Dragons Rising?
It's shared.
It's shared.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
But whenever we go in with something like this, we request the appropriate resources.
Makes sense.
The higher ups as well to make sure we can fulfill on making these things as good as they should be.
All right, so we are here with legendary LEGO Ninjago designer Dimi, who's actually appeared in quite a few interviews and videos on the channel so far, with the remake of Lloyd's Titan mech for Ninjago Legacy making a return. I have a million questions, but I think the major one is
What made you decide to basically bring back Lloyd's Titan mech as the focus of this particular set?
I think it was both a good timing, and after doing all the Titan mechs that we've done in the past few years and Cole's Titan mech, we felt that since this was the one that kickstarted like a new approach to mechs, aesthetic-wise and complexity-wise, it felt like a good chance to just give it a go and see how big we can make this guy. Again, you'll see also that it has a few differences from the original one. Aesthetic.
Right.
I tried initially to Nick did the first pass on this,
of course,
to call it out, of course, and I wanted to get it as close as possible. I think the main difference, obvious one, is the wings. But that was a choice of trying to get some functionality more to the backpack, and update it a little bit. And with the old aesthetic, it was not working. I tried a few things where I wanted to do the shield. That I will show you. Like you can take those two pieces, and they go on the arm.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. And I wanted to do the shield because it's just a cool, I think, novelty that we haven't done before. But then I had a function where you could spread out the wings, and I was trying a lot of things, but there was weight limitations. There were very different things to do.
Oh, so I have them go out like that.
I had them here. You could put them together and close so they become a shield, but it was too heavy for the arms, so we had to pivot. There's also some more surprises with this one. Because of course you can put the sword on the backpack.
Oh, nice! Oh, I love the recolored green sand green mop as the tassel. That's like a giant tassel on the Lloyd sword.
And because we are not done yet, you can put wrist blades.
That is so cool. So the other smaller ones do things
exactly.
too. Oh yeah, and
you can take this off, and with the pins from the Cold Titan mech, you can swap the backpacks. So they should be compatible.
Cool. Yeah, that is awesome. I'm curious, like, at what stage in development something like that comes in, where you're like, oh, we can actually make this compatible with some of the older mechs.
I think that was probably the last thing, because you want to solve everything else. And then somebody says, oh, what if we make it compatible with the other one? Because why not? I was trying some different things because I want to be easy to build, so it had to be a separate part and not built into the core. So then it was just easy to say, okay, if that's the connection, might as well make it removable.
That makes sense.
There were some challenges with this one, of course, because it has way more weight on the upper part. So I had to do some weird stops on the way that the waist is built. It uses the brick with the click hinge that we introduced for the mix and match mechs. And then a stop so it doesn't start popping off things. So that was a big challenge of figuring out, because when I initially had done it like the way that the Cole mech is, but because of the torque, when you moved the arms, you could pop out the mid waist. So that was quite a challenging, engineering
I'm
task.
sure. Now this is so cool because you can also you can rotate these, which is really nice. It has a lot of articulation. Oh, you can even rotate here. Oh my goodness, that is incredible. Wow. So what was this like designing a Titan mech compared to I don't know, some other mechs that you've worked on in the past? Was there different design considerations you had to do to fit it within the Titan mech system, or
I think it's mostly fighting the size of it. And especially Nick came up with this silhouette that is so striking and very exaggerated of what the original was. Which adds, of course, again, the weight considerations.
Of course.
So most of my task of making it a product was to figure out a way to make things stable, not breakable, and all this.
That makes sense. How long were you working on this?
I think it's 2-3 months, I think.
That's actually really fast. I feel that's very impressive.
I was lucky to have a prototype from Nick that was in a good place, because he has nailed down the whole mech building. It's the first one that I do this big. But I'm learning. I did the Fire Knight mech. He did it, but I had to finalize it, and then taking this over.
That makes sense. Very cool. Okay, so I got to talk about the minifigures. So there's like a million minifigures throughout Ninjago that appeared in the show that we never really got as figures that we really wanted to. I feel like, especially with season 11, part 2, there's a good number of minifigures that could have been made. They could have done Kataru, could have done maybe some of the other characters. So what made you choose Grimfax in particular as the villain character for this set, I guess?
I think it makes sense because he's a prominent character, he's an antagonist.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to complete at least the set in that regard. Of course, we had Akita on the original one.
Yeah.
So it was just expanding on this within the frames of what we could do.
Sure.
On this one.
That makes sense.
And we looked into Akita, as I said earlier. It's just that there were some things that we just couldn't do.
Sure. Is that more just like it's the budget didn't work out for like because that mold is obviously long
exactly.
gone.
It's
so
very
you have
difficult.
to bring back. Like,
it's a whole process to try, but we investigated that first thing first.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, that's really cool. And this, of course, does include some mystery minifigure for the 15th anniversary that will be revealed at a future time.
That's as far as I know. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how much I can say.
Sure.
But
I mean, I'm very excited personally to get a plain black minifigure to say, I
think all of them will be quite desirable.
Okay, that's very exciting because there are like no rumors right now. I cannot wait to see whatever those are going to be. So, very, very cool. I'm really interested, so there's a building technique here where you're using these pieces to act as kind of stoppers, right?
No, they're just details.
Just details.
It stops on brackets.
Oh, it stops on brackets. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting how you're able to squeeze that into such a small part of the leg.
Yeah,
like these little,
it was a challenge because this element is a very nice shape.
Yeah.
And initially Nick had 2 of those, so it was a very long leg. And then there was challenges because it was a lot of things like you don't want to if it happens to open the leg that you don't want things to pop out.
Yeah.
So I had to figure a way to transition from a specific element to something else. That's how the detailing came up to be.
Okay.
And it's keeping that aesthetic of the very big thighs that the original had. Yeah, it's generally it was a good challenge.
I bet. Yeah. The other interesting thing I see here in the graphics is you have the newer Lloyd symbol, you have the latest Lloyd symbol, and then of course on the ZX figure you have the original symbol. So this technically has like every single icon that Lloyd has always had. What was the decision in especially bringing that symbol back? Because we haven't seen that in quite a long time.
I think I had, after I built the Mech, I had these spots that I thought it would be nice to have something that we do on the more up-in-age sets, like a little bit more ornaments, and things that can move around.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put the flags, and I think it was just a choice from the graphics design team, Mike, who did the graphics for this one, to do something that's really, really cool there. I think they look awesome, and it fits the legacy and the anniversary style of set that this represents.
Yeah, absolutely. I also love the building technique here of the studs on the side used for the side armor. That almost feels like a mock or something like that, where it's just something that detailed in an official set is very, very cool.
The shoulder pads were Nick through and through.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He really does a good job on those.
Right. I gotta ask. So this is a recolor of this piece, which is normally Lee's like signature piece. Did he have any involvement? And I'll ask him as well. But in like having this be recolored to sand green for this, because it's kind of become a
not on this
thing.
one, but we had a discussion about something else he was doing that has a recolor of this.
Oh, in sand green or
no? I wanted it to be sand green, so at least we use the same thing, but it comes in more colors.
Very exciting.
But yes, it's totally his thing now.
Yeah, that is so cool. I mean, the aesthetics of this just look so much like the original in some ways, but also just very refined. Was there a reason why I feel like the ankle here is limited a little bit in how far it can move forwards? Was there a reason to limit that, especially because you already have the pistol?
It's very, very top heavy.
Okay.
The Mech. So if even now it's one that needs a little bit more consideration on the posing.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of weight on the very top. So even leaning it forward. Can topple,
Was there ever a consideration to do the thing that was done in the Cold Titan Mech, which has double pistons on the back?
I think it was mostly a limitation here of like an aesthetic limitation.
I see.
The Cold Titan Mech has very big legs.
Yeah.
It's a prominent feature in this one. We needed to have more of the weight on top for the shape.
Yeah.
So this felt to be adequate. Like you can pose it, you can, of course, not on one leg,
Yeah.
but it seems that it is enough.
See, now I kind of want
You can probably balance it.
to. Yeah, we can do something fun with it. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that makes total
You'll get
sense.
all the time to.
I know. I'm going
do
to.
that,
I'm
yeah.
going to be playing with this
Yeah.
so much.
But
when it
it's
comes
also
out.
really nice, I think, next to the original one. You
Yeah.
can see some similarities, some differences.
Can't wait to do that comparison. That is going to be crazy. Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is amazing, and I feel like. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like there's a little more sand green on
Yes,
this one compared to
yes.
the original. Like it feels a bit more sand green heavy.
Yeah,
which-
there was a balance. I was playing around with the amount of what should be white, what should be green. Because, for
Yeah.
example, this area is white. I think
yeah,
the original
yeah,
Mech.
yeah.
But it was just things that didn't look that good in this scale.
Sure.
So it's it's a reimagining or an update.
Yeah.
So it's again, as we did with Legacy, it's not a one-to-one. It's
Totally.
taking the essence of what was and see what we can improve and do a little bit better.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, this is cool. Did you ever have a prototype where you considered? Because I think in the last one, the back of it, I mean, not in the show, but in the set, it turned into like a little flyer
Yeah.
that could fly around. Did you try experimenting with
Not
that
with
at
the
all?
flyer because
Yeah.
I felt like okay, it was done on the original.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't that like such a prominent feature.
Yeah.
And here I was like super. I don't know. I think very early on I wanted to try to do the shield,
Yeah.
and I tried to do the shield as I said with the original shape of the wings,
Right.
but it was just not there. I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. It's the blue pin.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
You can put it on either one, but in the other one it's a bit.
Yeah.
It can be in
Fall
different
down,
position. Yeah.
I'm curious. I think, to be honest, one of the most memorable features of the original one, especially in the show, was the razor saw on the side where you kind of like slices the
Yeah.
ice like this. Did you ever consider trying to factor in that razor saw as another piece that could be attached
Yes,
onto the pins?
I think it was a little bit too small, the element.
Yeah.
And again, having the shield and has quite a lot of things going on with it.
Yeah.
So that was left out.
Okay.
At some point.
But I mean, the good thing is, like, there are those connection points. So if you wanted to, you probably could just
Yeah.
easily. I would think it would only take a few pieces to build something
yeah,
that sticks onto that. So it makes sense.
And it's also the limitations of having the big wheels.
Yeah.
Because I tried
yeah.
to play around with those, but these seem to be the ones that capture the aesthetic of the original Mech the most.
Yeah.
So they also limit what you can do there. You can also see how the shield had to be raised.
Right.
And I was playing with different like lengths, so it's not too flimsy if it's pressed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of considerations on trying to stay as close as possible to that aesthetic of the
Sure.
original. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. This is really interesting. I'm also curious. Obviously, this is a legacy set, so you have the ZX outfits being primarily used for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. We've kind of changed that to gold instead of the gunmetal gray, which is interesting. Yeah, actually, the more I look at this now, it is interesting how for the minifigure, all the ZX legacy figures, do they all have gold now?
Yes,
Okay.
because of I think the anniversary celebration.
That makes
kind of
sense,
thing.
'cause,
So
yeah.
they are again the essence of what it was, plus something that is with gold.
Yeah.
We know that it's more Ninjago and it's more celebratory.
That makes sense. Yeah. Did you ever consider, like, was there any other space for more minifigures to be included here, or any other characters that you wanted to factor in, or was this just?
No,
very
I think it
focused
was
on
similar to what we did. We knew that we wanted the anniversary minifigure,
Yeah.
the special one, plus Lloyd, and then we had the opportunity of doing Grimfax as well.
Yeah.
But it's a similar approach to what we did with the Cole Mech, of putting what we have on the build
Yeah.
to again continue with something that also looks really nice in the lineup if you see them all together. It's I think a very nice display.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%. I know a lot of fans are probably going to wonder. So for the Titan Mech series, we technically still need a Kai's Titan Mech, and I would argue we still need a Mia's one too.
Yeah.
We got the big Samurai X Mech. But was there any like option or consideration to like save the Titan Mech moniker for maybe like a Kai one or a Nia one at some point in the future versus doing another Lloyd's Titan Mech? Because now it's a little bit strange to have like two in the same series.
These conversations also always happen.
Yeah.
We want to complete the line,
Yeah.
and we will probably in the future.
Yeah.
But it just happened that this one fit the 50th anniversary
Yeah.
in a very good way.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I think it does make sense that this is the one to redo because Lloyd is super important. And then also that early one, while it was good, that was like 2019.
Exactly.
In 2019, that was the coolest mech that you could get. But now so much has changed with the ankles, like bring back the Bionicle Titan piston and the knees and everything. So I think
and it gets better and better because we get new elements now, like this one, the lift arm with the.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
So there's new stuff that allow us to do more.
Yeah.
So again, it was a good timing for this one. It has its own place in the milestones of Ninjago growth and where after the movie where we started doing, as you said, those big mechs.
Yeah.
So it's just a natural fit for all the considerations.
Totally makes sense. I guess my other question has to do, obviously, the anniversary minifigures, these all correspond to legacy sets. They aren't in the Dragon's Rising.
No, this is for the celebration of the 15 years.
Got it. That makes sense. So those are going to appear throughout legacy sets.
Yes.
But this is all this year.
Yes.
Okay. Are you able to say if legacy will continue past this year? Is it only something being done for the 15th anniversary?
For now, it's the 15th anniversary, but we always have that as a... Now, together with the legends, as
pull it out of your back pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever we feel that there is something that is, or we have the space where it fits, because it's not only about how you fit things in the portfolio, but it's also how you have space for them in communication and all this stuff. So anytime that we get the opportunity to touch back on something, we will definitely use that. I think as the name.
That makes sense. Yeah. I'm also curious about the collaboration with the show folks like Doc and Kevin and the writers, because I feel like obviously Ninjago is one banner, so having a few more legacy sets means there will be probably a few less Dragon's Rising sets compared to previous years. Did it feel like there was maybe less restrictions on the writing because they were just like, or maybe it was more restrictive to them? I'm kind of curious, like the back and forth process of, hey, we have less SKUs to deal with Dragon's Rising Season 4.
It's probably better for Doc and Kevin because they have less things to try
to the story
to write and justify. But generally, I think we have a very good collaboration. There hasn't been... Like, we discuss things, but there's nothing... like pushing or we know what we need to do with the show most of the time. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I think we're pretty much at about time here. So seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Cannot wait to get this when it hits shelves in March. March.
Yes, March.
Although I guess I'll be getting it a little earlier than that. But I can't wait to see it on store shelves. And thank you again for your time. I mean, cannot wait for the anniversary next year.
Yeah, I hope you will enjoy the building and you will enjoy to have it there displayed.
Oh, I know I will.
And make the lineup of the Titan mechs.
Yep, as soon as this was rumored, I actually, because I'm not living at my main collection now, I brought the original Lloyd's Titan mech to my apartment in New York because I'm like, I'm just going to hold on to that for now. Going to have to let that sit there for a few months, but I'm definitely going to want that to be with me when I get this. So, very cool. Excellent. Well, thanks so much, man.
My pleasure, man.
Always a good time.
See you soon.
Yep.
So here's our look at the March 2026 Lloyd's Titan Mech set. Again, big shout out to Demi for showcasing this set. By this point, we now know that Hibernus, aka the old elemental master of ice, is that exclusive minifigure, but of course, at the time this was revealed, we did not know what those exclusive anniversary minifigures are, and I think it makes total sense for that one to be included in this set, given the association with the Never Realm and the icy environment. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I think aesthetically, this looks really cool. I love the amount of articulation. You can bend the legs back and forth like so. Of course, it does have knee articulation as well as the Bionicle piston joint where you can see it actually move back and forth there, but unfortunately, I noticed that there were a couple of limitations when posing this around. I really have to build this myself and actually wait until I get to review this in March to share my full thoughts, but unfortunately, when playing around with it, I noticed it fell over quite a lot, and I think a big reason for that is because the way that the feet are set up, despite the fact that it has the piston supporting it on the back, it really restricted the front articulation of the foot. You can't really bend it forwards, so it is a little back heavy and it keeps toppling backwards, especially when I was playing with it. I really want to see if that is just the case for like this build in particular, or maybe once I build it, I'll have different opinions, but that was just something I did notice. That
That being said, though, I think articulation is really nice. I love the usage of the joint for the elbow there to actually allow you to rotate the arm kind of laterally as well as up and down. I think that is really clever. And of course, having the ability for you to have the wings on the back turn into a shield is super cool. Obviously, it isn't really that close to what we saw in the TV show. It's not really meant to be. It's kind of meant to be a reimagining of that particular mech. So while I do feel like it is very different than the original one, I do actually really like the changes made. And there you can see, like, just spinning it around caused it to just topple over there. So again, I'm really curious to play around with this one a little bit more and share more thoughts on how that is supposed to work. Despite the posability and stability concerns, I do think that aesthetically speaking, this looks super cool, especially with the shield. You can see I'm having a little bit of trouble there just getting it to stand up straight, and maybe there just needed to be a few more rubber elements under the feet. I don't really know. I'm gonna have to really get hands-on with this in my review in March to share my full thoughts, but yeah, definitely was not a big fan of how hard it was to pose and how easy it was to topple over, and I'm really curious if other people have the same impression as me. One of the really cool details about it, though, is the fact that it actually includes the logos for Lloyd across the different years of Ninjago. It has his original logo with the dragon icon on there, and it also has his newer Lloyd symbol, which I think is so cool to actually have factored into the mech. And then speaking of the minifigures, here I wanted to showcase the minifigures in great detail. You start off here with Lloyd ZX, and they have removed the gunmetal for Lloyd and changed it to gold. I actually asked the designers why they did this, and they mentioned that it was for the anniversary and they wanted to make it feel extra special with gold, which I think works for some characters and not others. I think it works okay for Lloyd because he is associated with gold a lot, but as we've seen for other characters like Jay, it's a little hit or miss. That minifigure though is super cool, but the highlight for me is Grimfax. That's a minifigure that I never thought we were going to get ever again, and given that he was a pretty prominent character in the Ice chapter of Season 11, I am really happy to see him, especially because he does have the dual molded helmet in dark blue, and they did mention they were going back and forth whether it should be gunmetal or dark blue, but given that they had the choice to make it in any color they needed because it would have cost the same, they decided to do dark blue. And if you think it appears more gunmetal in the animations, well, you can always switch it out for Vex's helmet. I think dark blue looks really cool, and I always felt like these were some of the best Ninjago villain faction minifigures, so I am really happy to get him as an actual figure. Overall, this is a very interesting set. I think it's going to be pretty controversial because I don't necessarily know if we really needed a remake of Lloyd's Titan mech. It was kind of an out of left field choice when we first heard it being rumored. I always said that it would have been nice to get a remake of it because obviously it is one of the more rudimentary or simple Titan mechs, and every single Titan mech since then has been so much better, but I do feel like I would have rather had gotten like a Kai's Titan mech, a legit Kai's Titan mech, not just one like the monstrosity version that we got, or maybe even a Nia's Titan mech, as opposed to getting Lloyd's Titan mech again. I would really love for them to eventually finish this lineup of mechs. And no, despite what the designers have said online, I really don't count Kai's monstrosity mech as a Titan mech for Kai. It doesn't have white in the color scheme, but then again, I guess if you're going by name and white in the color scheme, the original Zane's Titan mech would count as well. So it is a little bit of a gray area, but I think fans are really clear on what they're supposed to look like. So this is a proper Titan mech to me, and I would love to see them do it for the other ninja as well. Again, this is a really interesting build. I think aesthetically, it just looks super cool. It feels like a Gundam model or something like out of anime with the way that it's been built, but again, the stability issues are a little concerning for me, and I cannot wait to have this in hand and built myself to really have a final opinion on it. I think there are some really cool building techniques being used, like the studs on the side being used for the shoulder pad and brick. I think that is super cool. And also, I just feel like there were maybe a couple of little things that could have been improved or changed about the mech. You can see the articulation right here. It is pretty limited to be able to move the ankles forwards, just based on how you can actually have those armor plates be set up. And I feel like maybe there were a couple of ways to get around that to make it more stable, like Cole's Titan mech, or even like Kai's monstrosity mech, which I feel like were a lot more stable to play with than this one. That's being said, can't wait to actually have this in hands, and I hope you enjoyed this early look at Lloyd's Titan mech. it is a little strange how, given the timing is set up right now, and who knows if that will change closer to the reveal, but right now it has on my calendar, we are revealing this before the January sets, even though this is coming out in March. I don't really know why that's the case. I guess in previous years that has happened. I'm thinking back to 2023 going into 24 when we were revealing the Lloyd's Elemental Mech before the rest of the Elemental Mechs, even though that one was March, but just a bit of a strange thing. I just think that that has something to do with like LEGO's release calendars for set reveals not necessarily being lined up with like common sense in terms of when sets are actually coming out. But it is still cool to get hands-on with a March set this early. I was not expecting this reveal to take place until at least the end of January or maybe even February, so it is pretty cool to be able to be talking about this set months early, although now it just makes the wait extra long to be able to actually pick this one up ourselves. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the remake of Lloyd's Titan Mech? What do you think of the decision behind why this was brought back as a legacy set? Very, very interesting choice if you ask me, but honestly, I do overall really like the aesthetics of this mech. Stability, we're gonna have to wait and see, but the way this looks is so cool, and the building techniques are awesome as well. I also love the sand green being brought in as a very prominent color scheme. I think that is a really smart choice for a mech like this, and I certainly am very excited to be building this one myself. Having that shield be split up into the wings and come together as a shield with a giant red circle in the center is very, very cool. I think that is a very nice touch. So overall, there are things I really love about the model. It's just a little iffy in terms of stability. That being said, hope you enjoyed this early look, and again, it is nice to get the Grimfax minifigure made physically. Never thought we would be getting that, and while it would have been cool to get Akita, I do understand that, yeah, the molds for Akita definitely don't exist anymore. For those who don't know, LEGO destroys the molds for one-off exclusive elements if they're not used within 5 years. At least that was the rule a few years ago. I don't know if that rule has changed. It might even be less time now, but it's been more than 5 years since Season 11, so obviously those molds were no longer in production, and the only reason why the Ice Samurai helmets were in production, at least still in LEGO's databank, was because they experimented with them for crystallized. As they said, they originally considered making the Crystal King's helmet be that dual molded samurai helmet piece in the transparent pink and gunmetal. So thanks to the prototype designers for the crystallized sets for keeping that mold around. It is so interesting just having a peek behind the curtain, understanding why that decision was made and why that took place. But overall, very happy to get that. Interesting set, and I can't wait to get my hands on this one. Thanks so much for watching. The next few days are going to be a crazy whirlwind of LEGO reveals across all sorts of different themes, multiple videos in one day, which I try not to do, but just because of the embargo times, there are a lot of videos to get out, so stay tuned, have the notifications turned on, because we will be revealing a lot more in the next even few hours, and I can't wait for that. Thanks all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks so much, and bye for now.